High winds. A strange freighter lurking out in the bay is suspected of smuggling, but when bad weather comes he needs the safety of the harbour and one of the tugs to tow him in. Now is the chance to find out what is really going on. The sun was rising over Big City Port. 10 Cents and Sunshine, the Star Tug's 2 switchers, were busy moving some oil barges across the harbour. "Hey, 10 Cents, called Sunshine, looking at the pink sky. "A great dawn, eh?" "Don't be fooled, Sunshine," warned 10 Cents, who was older and wiser than Sunshine. "You know what Captain Star says? Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. Bad weather must be on its way." OJ, the oldest of Captain Star's tugs, came steaming up. "Get a move on, you two," he called to 10 Cents and Sunshine. "The storm flags are out. Hercules is already answering a distress call, and there'll be lots of extra jobs to do before the storm hits the harbour." He hurried away, and a moment later Zebedee, one of Captain Zero's tugs, came up, towing 4 barges. Captain Zero's tugs, the Z-Stacks, were rivals of the Starfleet and often caused them trouble. As Zebedee passed by, one of his barges came adrift. 10 Cents moved nearer to hold the barge steady. "Hey, what are you up to?" growled Zebedee. "One of your barges is broken loose," said 10 Cents. "I'll try to hold it until you secure it." "I can manage," snapped Zebedee. "Suit yourself," said 10 Cents, moving away. "Just one tug helping another, that's all." Wait," said Zebedee. "Thanks." And he towed the barges, now securely attached, away across the harbour. Later that morning, Zebedee joined the other Z-Stacks at the Zero Pier to hear their orders for the day. "This storm," said Captain Zero, "will mean salvage work. Take advantage of distress calls." "Up go our tow prizes, eh?" smirked Zoran, the roughest, toughest, meanest of the Z-Stacks. "You got it," said Captain Zero. "And another thing, an old friend of mine is paying Big City Port a visit. One Johnny Cuba. I don't want to hear any of you dealing with him. If any of you bump into him, I'm not at home, okay?" The Z-Stacks agreed and steamed out into the harbour to look for work. Out in the estuary, Lily Lightship had just received a fuel delivery from 10 Cents and Sunshine. "It's great to come out to see you, Lily," said Sunshine.
"Thank you, Sunshine," said Lily. "Always nice to have company. And speaking of company, he doesn't seem to be very sociable."
She nodded across the estuary toward a dark freighter anchored near the rocks. Said 10 Cents. "I wonder what he's up to." "Maybe he needs a tour," suggested Sunshine, and while 10 Cents secured the empty oil barges, Sunshine approached the strange freighter. "Ahoy there!" he called as he drew nearer. "Scram, tug!" sneered the freighter. "Just checking to see if you're okay," said Sunshine, surprised. "Maybe you could use a tow." "Don't need no tow, beat it!" growled the freighter. "There's a storm coming up, you might need shelter," said Sunshine. "Look, Sonny," jeered the freighter, "when I need a tow, I'll make sure you're the first to know it. Now scram!" Sunshine moved away, fast. He didn't know his visit to the freighter had been seen by a watchful customs launch hidden behind the rocks. As 10 Cents and Sunshine steamed towards the harbour mouth, the customs launch caught up with them. "Hold up there, 10 Cents," he called. "Hello, officer," said 10 Cents. "What's up?" The customs launch looked sternly at Sunshine. "I'd like to know what your business is with Johnny Cuba." "Johnny Cuba?" Sunshine looked puzzled. "The freighter you were talking to out there," said the launch. "So that's Johnny Cuba," said 10 Cents. "I've heard about him." "I already asked him if he wanted a tour," said Sunshine. "He wasn't very pleasant. Told me to scram." "Is he in some kind of trouble?" asked 10 Cents. "Johnny's always in trouble," said the customs launch. "It appears he could be on one of his smuggling runs into Big City." "The Stars don't deal in that sort of thing," said 10 Cents indignantly. "You know that, officer." "Just checking in case he said something that might be useful to us," said the launch. "Why don't you arrest him?" asked Sunshine. "I haven't anything definite on him," explained the launch. "I can't even search him as he's outside the harbour limits. I've been out there watching him since yesterday. I'd better get back." As the customs launch moved away, OJ came steaming up. He called out to 10 Cents and Sunshine. "You two pick up Scuttlebutt Pete. We have to clear the bay in case ships need to shelter." Out at sea, the wind was steadily increasing and the waves were getting higher. Johnny Cuba decided to take a chance and move closer to the shore for shelter. He pulled up his anchor and crept towards the harbour. But as he passed the rocks, the customs launch pulled out in front of him. "Ahoy there! Have to! I'm coming aboard!" Johnny didn't reply. Instead, he swung hard towards the tiny launch. "Hey! Watch what you're—" Wham! Johnny Cuba hit the launch hard, sending it crashing towards the rocks, then hurried away, leaving it to the mercy of the storm. In the safety of the harbour, Warrior was towing Sally's seaplane into her hangar, as the wind was too strong for her to fly any more that day.
"I saw Hercules out at sea as I was flying in," said Sally. "He's bringing in the liner, Princess Alice. I think she's damaged."
"I'd better tell the others," said Warrior. "We'll need all hands to bring her in with this wind." In the estuary, the storm was getting worse. Zebedee, remembering Captain Zero's orders, was looking for ships in distress. He saw a plume of smoke across the bay and steamed towards it. But as he rounded the rocks, he realised to his horror that it was Johnny Cuba. "Well, well, well," said Johnny Cuba. "If it is a little Zebby, like to do a job for me?" "Love to, Johnny," said Zebedee nervously, "but I've, no buts," snapped Johnny. "I need it so fast, this wind is messing up my plans. Move!" Zebedee fixed the line to Johnny Cuba and towed him into the disused docks. "OK, Zeb," drawled Johnny. "This'll be safe from the storm and prying eyes. Now, I need coal right away." "But Johnny," stammered Zebedee. "Quickly, or I'll break your stack," threatened Johnny Cuba. Zebedee steamed miserably across the harbour. As he passed Lucky's yard, he saw 10 Cents and Sunshine struggling with Scuttlebutt Pete and a heavy barge. Scuttlebutt was getting angry as the barge swung about in the strong wind. "Come on, you two!" he snapped as the barge smashed against his side, splashing sludge all over his deck. "Whoa there!" cried 10 Cents, as, a second later, Scuttlebutt Pete slewed round and crashed into him. "Come on, switches!" yelled Scuttlebutt. "Get me home!" 10 Cents looked worried. "It's this wind," he said. "It's getting stronger. If only I could fix another line." He caught sight of Zebedee. "Hey, Zebedee!" he shouted. "Give us a hand!" "What?" Zebedee stared at him. "Just hold him steady while I get another line aboard," pleaded 10 Cents. "Why should I?" asked Zebedee. He looked behind him. "So it'll kill me." "Please," begged Sunshine. "Well, just this once," agreed Zebedee. He pushed against Scuttlebutt's side, holding him steady whilst 10 Cents fixed another line. "Thanks, Zebedee," said 10 Cents warmly, as he and Sunshine at last got the barge under control. Zebedee hurried away. As he drew near to the coal yard, he remembered Johnny Cuba's threat. There were several loaded barges in the yard and no one about, so he hitched up one of them and towed it round to the disused docks, where Johnny Cuba was waiting. "Yeah, OK, Zebby," grinned Johnny when he saw the barge. "I want you to come back here tonight. I've another little job for you." "Yeah, I've got to go," said Zebedee, and he steamed away, very worried, across the estuary. Near the rocky shore, he slowed down and looked out to sea. In the distance, he spotted smoke. "There's something out there," he thought. "Princess Alice, I might be in luck. If I get a tow, Captain Zero will be pleased with me." He was about to set off when he heard a shout. "Help!" Who's that?" he called. It was the customs launch, stuck on the rocks. As Zebedee moved closer, the launch caught sight of him. "Zebedee, never thought I'd be glad to see you. Come on, I need a tow. Johnny Cuba pushed me onto the rocks and my engine's dead. I'll be smashed to bits on the rocks soon." Yeah, sure," agreed Zebedee. With a sigh, he moved forward and pulled the launch off the rocks, then slowly towed him into the harbour. On the way in, they met Big Mac and Warrior steaming out to meet Hercules and Princess Alice. "Good day to you, Customs," called Big Mac. "Hey, Zebedee. Nothing serious, I hope." "Chasing a crook and rescued by a crook, that's all," said the Customs launch with a grin. As soon as he delivered the customs launch to Lucky's yard, Zebedee steamed back across the harbour. The wind was still blowing strongly, and the Starfleet was struggling to bring in the huge liner, Princess Alice. Hercules was towing out front, while Big Mac and Warrior were at her stern, holding her back. OJ, 10 Cents and Sunshine were pushing hard against her sides to keep her steady, but she was slowly drifting towards the dockside. Unless she was brought under control, the little switches would be crushed between the dock and the towering sides of the liner. "It's no good," shouted Warrior. "She's not responding." "I can't hold her anymore," cried 10 Cents. "Push, OJ, push!" yelled Big Mac. "Ugh!" cried Warrior as the curve of the liner's hull crept closer and closer to the quayside. Things looked desperate. OJ sounded his emergency whistle, calling to any tugs in the area to come and help. Suddenly, Zebedee swept up. Positioning himself between 10 Cents and Sunshine, he began to push with all his might. Slowly, the great liner began to correct her course. With Zebedee's extra weight behind her, Princess Alice was under the tug's control again. As soon as she was docked, Zebedee hurried away. The star tugs tooted their fangs. As evening fell, Zebedee returned to the disused docks. Well, grinned Johnny Cuba. "It's Zebedee back again. Good boy. This is where you have to take me." Reluctantly, Zebedee attached his tow line, but suddenly there was a loud hoot and Hercules steamed up. "Hello, Zebedee," he said. "Where are you taking our friend Johnny Cuba, eh?" "What's it to you, sir?" sneered Johnny Cuba. "I know of you, old Johnny Cuba," said Hercules. "Let's send him over to the authorities, Zebedee. They'd like a word with him." "Oh, no, you don't!" roared Johnny, and he tried to back out of the dock. But Zebedee's line was attached, and he hung on until Hercules managed to hitch another line to the freighter. "Well done, Zebedee," said Hercules. "Customs will be proud of you. Come on, let's take him in." Johnny cursed angrily, but there was nothing he could do. Back at the Zero pier, Zebedee hung his head while Captain Zero scolded him for helping the star tugs with Princess Alice. The other Z-Stacks were also in trouble. "What a bunch! No salvage work! No extra fees! Get out of my sight, all of you!" The Z-Stacks turned to go, but before they could leave, the customs launch steamed up. Silence fell. "A word with you, Zero," said the launch, "about Johnny Cuba." "He's got no connection with me," snapped Captain Zero. "I told my tugs to stay away from him." "Well, one of them didn't," said the launch. "Zebedee?" The Z-Stacks turned to look at Zebedee accusingly. "Listen, officer," blustered Captain Zero. "I'm clean. Whatever Zebedee did, he did it against my orders." "Zebedee!" "Hold on, Zero," said the launch. "If it wasn't for him, you'd have a lot of explaining to do. Zebedee and Hercules brought Johnny Cuba in. Because of Zebedee's help, we assumed you had nothing to do with Johnny Cuba. I just came by to thank Zebedee." Well, I was just saying what a credit he is to my fleet," smirked Captain Zero. "Wasn't I, Tugs?" The other Z-Stacks looked embarrassed. "We're always here to help. Count on us any time," said Captain Zero. "Thanks," said the customs launch. "And thank you, Zebedee." He moved away across the harbour. As the sun set, 10 Cents and Sunshine steamed slowly into the harbour. They met Zebedee, alone, staring out to sea. "Hi, Zebedee," they called. "Huh?" said Zebedee. "Oh, hi." "Weather's changed," remarked 10 Cents. "I noticed," replied Zebedee. "Thanks again for your help today," said 10 Cents. "We heard from Hercules about you catching Johnny Cuba." Murmured Zebedee. He moved away. "See you guys." 10 Cents spoke. "If you ever think of leaving the Z-Stacks..." "What? You crazy?" said Zebedee. He paused, then said, "Today was today, okay?" "Just a thought," said 10 Cents. "Huh? Yeah," said Zebedee, and he steamed away across the harbour. He wasn't sure how he stood with Captain Zero, but somehow he wasn't too bothered. He might have made a new enemy today, but he'd also made a few new friends.